Good morning, beloved. Today, I want to speak directly to your spirit. Thursday is not just another day. It is a divine opportunity to seize control of the remainder of your week. I want you to understand that your week does not end halfway. It is commanded, it is ordered, it is aligned with God's purpose for your life. Today, I will lead you into a place of authority through prayer, a place where you can declare victory over delays, distractions, and every obstacle that seeks to steal your peace and progress. By the end of this moment, you will not simply hope for breakthroughs. You will speak them into existence. When you awaken on Thursday, you must understand that you are not merely stepping into another ordinary day. You are stepping into a day of divine authority and supernatural opportunity. Every moment that passes in your week is either moving toward fulfillment or drifting away in mediocrity. But today, you have the power to take control, to command the remainder of your week from a position of prayer, from a place of faith, from a place of spiritual authority that cannot be shaken by circumstances. You must recognize that your words carry weight. Your declarations hold power, and your prayers establish the atmosphere for every action, every decision, and every outcome that will follow. This is not about hoping that things will turn out well. This is about seizing the mantle of authority given to you by a higher power and commanding your life to align with divine purpose. You are not at the mercy of the weak. The weak is at your command. There is no situation too challenging, no obstacle too great, no opposition too strong that cannot be overruled by the declaration of your spirit. The moment you speak, the moment you pray, the moment you decree, the heavens respond. The universe shifts, and unseen forces move to bring alignment, provision, and breakthrough. This is the essence of commanding your half week from prayer. You must understand that the power of your prayer is not dependent on how you feel or what you see. It is dependent on the authority you carry, the faith you exercise, and the clarity of your command. When you lift your voice, when you declare your intentions, when you speak with conviction, you are not asking for permission. You are exercising dominion. And dominion is not given. It is activated through prayer, through faith, through spiritual action that acknowledges the presence of a higher power working on your behalf. You must rise above distraction, above doubt, and above delay. You must not allow the fatigue of the first half of the week to dictate the trajectory of the remainder of your days. There is a spiritual rhythm to authority, a divine timing to breakthrough, and a supernatural pattern that unfolds when you align yourself with purpose. When you pray on Thursday, you are not simply marking time, you are resetting your week, redirecting your course, and reclaiming territory that may have seemed lost to frustration, to challenges, or to unmet expectations. Every prayer spoken with authority carries a weight that shifts atmospheres, moves situations, and brings clarity where there was confusion. You are a commander, and your weapon is prayer. You must understand that commanding your week is not a passive activity. It requires intentionality, focus, and a refusal to accept anything less than the manifestation of divine provision and victory in every area of your life. Obstacles that seemed insurmountable become stepping stones when you engage in prayer with authority, for there is a spiritual dimension that responds to your declarations faster than the natural realm can even comprehend. As you pray today, speak with precision, declare with certainty, and refuse to allow fear or uncertainty to dilute your words. The language of faith is active. It is powerful, it moves mountains, and brings hidden blessings into the light of manifestation. You must take responsibility for the energy you carry, the declarations you make, and the alignment you establish through prayer. Every thought you have, every word you speak, and every action you take must be calibrated to reinforce the authority you are exercising over your week. There is no room for passivity, no room for resignation, no room for compromise. You are called to command, to take initiative, to speak with confidence, and to refuse to relinquish control over what is rightfully yours. Spiritual authority is not passive, it is active. It moves in concert with purpose, it aligns with destiny, and it is reinforced by unwavering faith. As you engage in your Thursday prayer, visualize the remainder of your week unfolding exactly as you desire. free from delay, full of favor, and overflowing with divine opportunity. See yourself walking through each hour with clarity, purpose, and the confidence that you are under divine guidance and protection. Recognize that the power of prayer is not limited by your understanding, by what seems possible, or by what others believe. It is limitless. It is expansive. It is transformative. The moment you decree, the spiritual realm shifts in your favor. This is the nature of commanding your half week through prayer. It is an exercise in faith, a declaration of authority, and a refusal to allow circumstances to dictate your outcome. Your words create your atmosphere. Your faith activates your favor. Your prayer positions you to receive blessings that were prepared for you before the week even began. Understand that when you pray with authority on Thursday, you are not only changing your own trajectory, you are impacting every interaction, every decision, every environment you enter for the remainder of the week. The effect of your declaration reverberates beyond what you can see, touching situations, relationships, and opportunities that you may not even be aware of. This is the supernatural power of a prayer that is spoken with conviction, with authority, and with a clear command. You are not speaking into emptiness. You are speaking into a dimension that responds to faith, that honors purpose, and that aligns outcomes with intention. As you command your half week, refuse to allow negative influences, setbacks, or distractions to take root. Every delay, every frustration, every challenge can be neutralized through the power of your declaration. You have authority over time, circumstances, and outcomes when you exercise your spiritual mandate. Take hold of this truth and let it guide every word you speak, every thought you entertain, and every action you take from this moment forward. Prayer is not passive. It is your instrument of authority, your tool of transformation, and your declaration of victory. Engage with it fully, speak with it confidently, and understand that the authority you exercise today will determine the momentum of the rest of your week. The remainder of your week belongs to you. It is not dictated by past failures, disappointments, or missed opportunities. You have the power to redirect, reclaim, and realign every aspect of your time, your energy, and your resources. The spiritual dimension responds to clarity of command, to the courage of conviction, and to the unwavering declaration of faith that moves beyond what the eyes can see and beyond what circumstances suggest. This is your opportunity to take hold of the remainder of your week and to declare it under divine guidance, under spiritual authority, and under a mantle of faith that cannot be shaken. Every prayer spoken with precision carries weight. Every declaration made with authority shifts the natural and spiritual realm. Every step you take after prayer is positioned in alignment with divine strategy, bringing supernatural favor, provision, and breakthroughs into manifestation. You must recognize that your voice is a weapon, your words are your instrument of authority, and your prayer is your mechanism for commanding the week. Refuse to allow uncertainty, doubt, or negativity to dilute your focus or weaken your declarations. Command your half week boldly, intentionally, and strategically. Speak life into every situation that requires transformation. Declare provision where there seems to be lack. Speak clarity into confusion. Bring order to chaos. Bring strength to weakness. Bring direction to indecision. Bring victory to delay. When you pray with authority, you are establishing a new reality, a new atmosphere, and a new momentum that carries forward into every interaction, every responsibility, and every endeavor that remains in your week. Your half week is not ordinary. It is saturated with opportunity, favor, and divine alignment. You must see it with spiritual eyes, command it with spiritual authority, and walk through it with faith that is unshakable and unwavering. The remainder of your week responds to your declarations, aligns with your commands, and moves under the influence of your prayer. Your authority is activated not by circumstance, but by the intentionality and clarity of your spoken word. As you engage in this prayer, you are not only establishing control over time, events, and outcomes, you are also fortifying your spirit, reinforcing your faith, and positioning yourself to receive blessings, insights, and guidance that will propel you towards success. Do not underestimate the power of your words, the influence of your faith, or the impact of a prayer spoken with authority. There is a spiritual shift that occurs in the environment when you command your half week. Walls crumble, obstacles move, opportunities open, and favor flows in ways that the natural eye may not immediately see, but that manifest in results that are undeniable. You are called to exercise dominion, to declare victory, and to command the remainder of your week into alignment with divine purpose. Every prayer you pray, every word you declare, every intention you set is shaping the reality of your next hours, your next days, and your next encounters. Engage in this moment with precision, with authority, and with the understanding that your words carry weight, your faith has power, and your prayer establishes dominion over the rest of your week. This is your mandate. This is your authority. This is your time to command, to declare, and to walk in the fullness of spiritual alignment that transforms possibility into reality, potential into results, and vision into manifestation. The moment you lift your voice, the atmosphere responds, the heavens shift, and the remainder of your week becomes aligned with your purpose, your prayer, and your declaration of authority. You must move with clarity, speak with precision, and act with unwavering faith, understanding that the power of your prayer today will dictate the momentum, favor, and outcomes for the rest of your week. Every delay, every challenge, every obstacle that appeared to slow you down is now subject to the authority of your voice, the precision of your prayer, and the clarity of your declaration. You have power over what remains, influence over circumstances, and dominion over the time that is left in this week. This is not a passive exercise. It is a deliberate, intentional, and commanding act that positions you for supernatural favor, breakthrough, and success. You must recognize that prayer is not merely a ritual. It is your instrument of authority, your declaration of command, and your mechanism for bringing divine alignment into every aspect of your week. As you engage in this act, know that the spiritual realm responds, circumstances shift, and the remainder of your week is brought into harmony with your declarations, your faith, and your command. When you step into the practice of declaring victory over obstacles and delays, you must first understand that these challenges were never intended to define you, to control you, or to determine the outcome of your life. Obstacles are not stronger than the authority you carry. Delays are not more powerful than the declarations you are called to speak. Every situation that appears as a barrier is actually an opportunity for you to exercise spiritual authority, to engage in intentional prayer, and to command a shift that brings breakthrough into manifestation. Too often, people allow obstacles to create fear, hesitation, or resignation. But you are called to rise above, to speak with clarity, and to declare with boldness that no hindrance can stand against the power of faith aligned with divine purpose. Declaring victory is not a passive wish. It is an active, deliberate, and spiritually authoritative act. It requires that you see beyond the surface, that you understand the unseen forces working in your favor, and that you take hold of your spiritual authority with unwavering confidence. Every obstacle you face can be overcome when you engage with the power of prayer, the precision of your declaration, and the certainty of your faith. Delays, whether in relationships, finances, career, or personal growth, are not permanent. They are temporary pauses that exist to test your resolve, strengthen your spirit, and give you an opportunity to command progress through intentional, authoritative declarations. When you declare victory over obstacles, you are not merely hoping that circumstances will improve. You are commanding transformation to occur. Your words carry power, your declarations create momentum, and your prayer aligns heaven with earth to bring about results that are undeniable. You must recognize that every obstacle has a spiritual dimension, a purpose that can be redirected through prayer, and a timing that can be influenced through the authority you exercise. Refuse to allow the natural world to dictate the outcome of your endeavors. Speak with authority, act with confidence, and see yourself overcoming every barrier that attempts to slow your progress. Delays are not denials, they are invitations to exercise faith, to declare power, and to move in alignment with divine guidance. When you understand the spiritual principle behind victory over obstacles, you realize that your words are not empty, they are active, they are charged, and they carry weight that transcends what you can see. Obstacles are neutralized the moment you declare that they no longer have power over you. Delays dissolve the moment you decree that time itself is aligned with your purpose. The spiritual dimension responds to clarity, to authority, and to declarations made with unwavering confidence. Every time you speak, every time you pray, every time you declare victory, you are positioning yourself to experience results that are beyond human comprehension, but fully consistent with spiritual law. Victory is not dependent on circumstances. It is dependent on your willingness to engage with authority, to speak with conviction, and to refuse to accept anything less than what has been divinely prepared for you. You must see obstacles not as permanent barriers, but as temporary situations that can be redirected through the power of your words. Every delay can be transformed into a stepping stone for progress. Every challenge can become a platform for growth. Every frustration can become a catalyst for breakthrough. When you declare victory, you are activating a spiritual force that moves mountains, rearranges circumstances, and opens doors that have been closed for far too long. Your authority is not limited by the natural realm. It is expanded by the spiritual realm, responding to the clarity, precision, and faith of your declarations. You must understand that obstacles are often placed in your path to test the strength of your faith, to refine your focus, and to prepare you for the magnitude of the blessings that are ready to manifest. Delays are not denials. They are divine pauses that allow the spiritual realm to align with your purpose, to create favor, and to prepare conditions for your victory. Declaring victory over obstacles is an act of spiritual warfare, a conscious decision to speak against limitation, and a refusal to allow circumstances to dictate the outcome of your life. Every word you speak carries authority, every prayer you pray carries power, and every declaration you make has the potential to transform the natural realm into a reflection of divine will. You are not powerless. You are not subject to the limitations of time, situation, or circumstance. You are an agent of change, a voice of authority, and a vessel of power capable of declaring victory where none seems possible. Obstacles must bow before your declaration. Delays must dissolve before your command. The spiritual law is clear. Words spoken with authority, backed by faith, and aligned with purpose, carry a power that cannot be ignored. You must speak with precision, pray with confidence, and declare with unwavering determination that every challenge is subject to your command. Victory is not a suggestion, it is a mandate. Success is not a possibility, it is a decree. Progress is not optional, it is your responsibility to command into manifestation. Every obstacle in your life has an expiration date when you engage in the practice of declaration. Every delay has a time limit when you exercise spiritual authority. The moment you decree, the spiritual realm moves to enforce alignment with your purpose. When you speak, unseen forces respond. When you pray, the atmosphere shifts. When you declare victory, the natural realm bends to the authority of your words. You must take responsibility for the impact of your declarations. You cannot speak doubt and expect triumph. You cannot entertain hesitation and expect breakthrough. Your victory is directly proportional to the clarity, authority, and faith with which you declare it. Obstacles are not stronger than your word. Delays are not more powerful than your prayer. Every situation that appears insurmountable is subject to the authority of your voice. You must understand that your declarations do not merely influence your week, they influence your life, your destiny, and the trajectory of your purpose. The power to declare victory is not passive, it is active, intentional, and commanding. Every obstacle you face is a call to exercise faith, to speak with authority, and to move forward with unwavering confidence that victory is not only possible, it is inevitable when you command it. You must refuse to be intimidated by circumstance, discouraged by delay, or distracted by doubt. Speak victory over your finances, declare triumph over your career, decree resolution in relationships, and proclaim breakthroughs in every area where obstacles seem to linger. Your words carry weight. Your declarations create momentum. Your prayers set in motion forces that the natural eye cannot yet perceive, but that manifest in results that cannot be denied. Obstacles are neutralized when you declare them null and void. Delays are eliminated when you decree time and opportunity to move in your favor. The spiritual realm responds instantly to clarity, authority, and unwavering faith. Every challenge, every difficulty, every situation that once seemed immovable becomes a platform for your victory when you engage with the authority of your declaration. You are not waiting for change, you are commanding it. You are not hoping for breakthrough, you are declaring it. You are not subject to limitation. You are an agent of authority capable of transforming circumstance into opportunity, frustration into favor, and delay into acceleration. You must understand that victory over obstacles is not passive. It is deliberate, intentional, and spiritually commanded. Every time you speak with clarity, every time you pray with precision, and every time you declare with unwavering faith, you are enforcing alignment between your purpose and your outcome. Delays are no longer a threat when you recognize that your words carry authority. Obstacles are no longer barriers when you acknowledge that your declarations carry power. Every challenge is an opportunity to exercise faith, demonstrate authority, and manifest results that reflect divine alignment. You must take control of your words, your thoughts, and your declarations. You must understand that the spiritual dimension is responsive, the natural realm is malleable, and your victory is dependent upon the authority with which you engage every obstacle and every delay. You are not powerless, you are not a victim. You are a voice of authority, a vessel of power, and a commander over every situation that seeks to oppose your progress. Declare victory over obstacles. Command delays to dissolve. Speak with authority. Pray with precision. Act with unwavering faith. Every obstacle you face is now subject to your command. Every delay is now under your authority, and every challenge is now aligned with the momentum of your declaration. The spiritual law is unchanging. Words spoken with clarity, backed by faith, and reinforced by authority, carry power that transforms the natural realm into alignment with divine purpose. You must understand the magnitude of your responsibility, the weight of your declaration, and the authority you carry. Obstacles bow before your words. Delays dissolve before your prayer. Every challenge becomes an opportunity when you declare victory with unwavering faith, precision, and spiritual authority. You are called to exercise dominion over circumstance, command alignment in your favor, and decree the fulfillment of your purpose with boldness, clarity, and authority. To align your actions with divine purpose is to step into a life that is no longer dictated by chance, circumstance, or human limitation. It is to operate from a place of intentionality, clarity, and authority, knowing that every step you take can be infused with meaning, every decision can reflect destiny, and every action can advance the unfolding of your God-given assignment. Momentum is not accidental. It is not something that simply happens to those who wait or hope. Momentum is cultivated through alignment, through intentional engagement, and through the deliberate integration of your actions with the purpose that has been placed within your life. To move with unstoppable momentum, you must first recognize that your purpose is not arbitrary, it is divinely orchestrated. There is a plan, a design, and a timing that has been set for you that surpasses human understanding. When your actions are aligned with this purpose, every effort becomes multiplied, every obstacle becomes manageable, and every opportunity becomes a vehicle for advancement. Alignment requires discipline, focus, and intentionality. It requires that you examine your decisions, scrutinize your priorities, and evaluate your commitments to ensure that every action reflects your highest calling. Anything misaligned, however small, can create friction, delay, or distraction and impede the forward movement that you are capable of achieving. You must recognize that divine purpose is a compass, a blueprint, and a standard by which your life is to be measured. When you operate in alignment with it, you create a momentum that cannot be resisted, a progress that cannot be stopped, and a life that cannot be diminished by circumstance. Every step, every word, every decision, and every action becomes charged with authority and significance. To align with purpose, you must understand the importance of intentionality. You must know why you are doing what you are doing, what end result you are moving toward, and how each action contributes to the larger plan that has been laid out for your life. Intentionality transforms ordinary actions into extraordinary outcomes. It transforms routine tasks into assignments of destiny. It transforms ordinary days into milestones of accomplishment and influence. When you act with clarity of purpose, momentum begins to build naturally. You begin to attract opportunities that are in harmony with your objectives. You begin to recognize and respond to synchronicities that are orchestrated for your advantage. You begin to move through life with a sense of inevitability, knowing that the forward progress you experience is not random but divinely sanctioned. Momentum is fueled by consistency. Small, purposeful actions taken repeatedly compound over time to create results that are extraordinary. Alignment ensures that the actions you take are not wasted, misdirected, or ineffective. Every effort is amplified when it is directed by purpose, and every step carries authority when it is taken with intention. You must guard against distractions, against the pull of mediocrity, and against the temptation to operate in reactive rather than proactive modes. Alignment requires focus, discipline, and the courage to refuse what is irrelevant or misaligned. You are called to operate at a higher level, to move with clarity, and to command your time, energy, and resources in ways that honor the purpose that has been placed within you. Every action, no matter how small, has the potential to either advance your momentum or erode it. Therefore, alignment is not optional, it is essential. You must regularly evaluate your commitments, your activities, and your priorities to ensure that they reflect your highest objectives and your divine mandate. The principle is simple. Momentum is the product of purpose-driven action. The more closely your actions align with divine purpose, the more unstoppable your forward movement becomes. When your steps are synchronized with destiny, obstacles are neutralized, delays are overcome, and opportunities are maximized. Alignment is a declaration of authority over your own life. It is a refusal to be controlled by external circumstances or internal hesitation. It is the decision to intentionally integrate your faith, your vision, and your actions into a trajectory that produces results with precision and